Hi there. Welcome back to another episode of American Snippets. I'm your co-host, Barb Allen. Today's guests, plural, we have two guests. One of them is behind the other one, and they're a team for real. Our one guest, Tyler, he is an author, an honorary CEO, a humanitarian, a TV personality, an entrepreneur, and one of the most patriotic Americans we may have ever met. By the way, he's just 6 years old. We also have with him his mother, Andrea Blackstone, and it's super important to have mother and son on this interview and share both of their stories because they're a team, right? So I'm so excited to bring this story to you today, to talk to both of you about your teamwork, the inspiration behind it, what drives you forward, how you work together. It is going to be an excellent time. Are you ready?
Yes.
You're ready?
Thanks for having us.
Woohoo! Thank you so much for being in with us. We are very excited, like I said, to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're coming from your home where? Maryland, right?
Yes, in Maryland, in Baltimore County.
In Baltimore County, Maryland. So, you know what? As we get going here, we're losing Mom a little bit on the screen there. Can we? Yep, there we go. Because we want to be sure we have both of you, right? I just promised everybody we're getting both of you. You're going to make liars out of me. So can't do that, right? The only people I lie to are my kids. Just kidding. So we're going to start. Tyler, how are you today?
I am doing good.
Thank
you for having me on this show.
Oh my goodness. We could not be happier to have you on this show. What is it like to have to work in your summer vacation?
Well, it is fun. It is something to do.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because to me it feels important to do that. So that's why it doesn't really matter to me.
Awesome. So look, there is so much to get to with you. And I was a little nervous because I saw your interview on with Steve Harvey, right? On Little Big Shots. And I know he was trying to kind of chit chat with you. And I saw you and you're like, let's get back to what we were talking about, right? That was hysterical. I'm like, this guy is a taskmaster. So, you put Steve Harvey in his place there. I was like, I got to be on my toes to stay up with this kid, right? How was that? Why did Steve Harvey have you on his show?
Maybe because like what I was doing.
Right. Can you tell us what you were doing? What did you talk about?
So he talked about, how I got started, and I told about what I helped, who I helped, and I told him what I put in the backpacks.
For who though?
For the veterans.
For the veterans. And did you know that, we like a lot of people here, but did you know that veterans are super special to us?
Yep, they are.
Yeah, they're special to everybody, right? So what made you want to start doing this? So you distribute some of the things you do. You've created backpacks and you hand those out to veterans who need them. And what's in those backpacks?
What's in the backpacks? They have a snack, 2 or 3 snacks, and then you have a socks, a hygiene
products, right?
Then you have a toothbrush, toothpaste,
soap, resources
like McVet in Baltimore, which isn't far from us.
No, it's not. So whose idea were these backpacks?
It was my idea pretty much when I was 4. Around the same time when I wrote my book.
I know.
And I'm working on my second.
And you're working on your second. People, we better get busy if we want to keep up with this kid. Seriously.
A Spanish coloring book.
A Spanish book? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Good Lord. Okay, let's backtrack for 1 second. So how did you who is that sitting right there behind you?
Mom.
Mom. What's Mom's name?
Huh? That's what I call her.
That's what you call her.
Otherwise known as Andrea.
Otherwise known as Andrea. Hi, thank you so much for being with us today.
Sure, thank you.
So you all are among the youngest people we have ever had on American Snippets, and I think you may hold that record for a long time. Just saying. So, Andrea, can you tell us a little bit?
Sure.
What is it about your son? How did you and Tyler get into this? Did he come to you? Did you point it out to him? This is fascinating.
Yes.
You know, how did that happen?
He actually did, because I think a lot of times people think, oh, he's little, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
His mother must make him do that. Not true at all. When he was 4 years old.
Like, you know, people kind of, like, one time I was trying to fundraise, right?
Right, but let's explain, though.
Okay.
So back up so she can understand. So when he was 4 years old, now you can tell this part. What did you do?
So
What did you tell me?
told her that I want to build houses for them after I watched a YouTube video, but she said we couldn't do that, so that's how I came up with Give Back to Veterans.
Right. So when he was 4, me being a mom, and I homeschool at this time, but I didn't know I was beginning that process back then, just to give him little lessons on his way to, you know, being a student. And one day I said, hey, we're from a family of veterans. Why wouldn't I teach him a little bit about what a veteran is, what military is, and all the great things that have been done? Because to me, so many times kids don't really understand and get any lessons at home unless they have someone in the military.
Yep.
So I just wanted to introduce that to him. It was just kind of something we did on the whim with the cell phone. And I said, come here, Tyler, I want you to see something. So I picked out some YouTube videos just really randomly, and some of them were about service and, of course, the great things that people do in the military. But then there were some that showed the hard times people can actually experience when they get out. And one of them showed a man who was seated on a sidewalk holding a sign saying homeless veteran. And Tyler, instantly, his eyes got big, and he turned to me and he said, Mom, you just told me they're heroes and I saw these great things. Why would he be on the street?
I mean, just like firefighters or like that. How about the veterans?
Right.
How about them?
Right. So, you know, first responders, veterans, all these important people. So he felt like he didn't like what he saw. He felt like, why wouldn't someone want to help someone who's given so much to our country? And that's how the conversation started when he was 4. So as soon as he saw that, he said, Mom, I want to ask the governor some questions about Maryland. What are we doing for our veterans? Like, he was 4 and he really said that.
Uh-huh.
So I said to myself, ooh, this is a sticky question. He's 4. So I didn't want to kill his spirit. So I really did say, Tyler, let me think about that. And I gave it some thought because it was something I didn't expect.
Right.
I did contact the governor's office. His assistant was very gracious, and I phrased it in such a way to explain Tyler's age. And I think everybody in the beginning thought it was just a kid with a question. But then I explained to her how serious Tyler was about his ideas, and we came up with an idea called Give Back to Veterans Day. Initially, it was a special day to say thank you outside of Veterans Day, because we believe that veterans are heroes and special every day. So it was kind of a fun holiday for a kid to say, I appreciate you. I love what you do. We don't thank you enough. So just so you know, I want to do something to give back to you.
Nice. And Tyler, that was way back when you were just a kid, right?
Right. Just when you was way back.
I mean, you were so young.
That's why it started. And from there, he started his first Give Back to Veterans campaign with $100 from a kids grant and donations. And that's when he started on my Facebook page, and it was taking over Mom's Facebook page. So I said, Tyler,
that's how it goes.
Would you want your own? And I said, Mom will run it, but I'll help you, explain to people, because I didn't want people to think I'm putting him up to it. I wanted them to see him, them to hear him, and we still go through that sometimes, but it really is something he wants to do. So from there, it just became something that he wanted to do all the time. He started with homeless veterans at a place called Patriot House in Anne Arundel County. And then he gave them like things for Easter. There were gift baskets that were packed up with hygiene products, clippers. We have a friend with a barbershop. She gave lots of stuff for them too, grooming products.
And then we had another volunteer who just died, but he would help with grooming.
Right. He met us later, but he was a big helper, and he was a volunteer fireman.
Yep.
Nice.
So he rallied up everybody in his network and went around helping Tyler.
And he was funny too.
Right. And he was funny. That's the best part.
Right.
Can't work with someone who's boring, right?
Yeah, and he was awesome because he helped Tyler make deliveries to McFed. We used his van.
Because our car is about like small, and his van, he would always go down there and help us load it.
Right, load, unload, because Tyler collects lots of. So on the Steve Harvey show, it focused on backpacks.
Right.
However, Tyler tells some of the other things you also collect, like the clothes and the coats and things like that.
So I get it from like people who are willing to donate. And I use it to give it to the veterans and...
Right, but what are some of the other things you collect?
And I collect things like toiletries,
right, the
snacks, coats,
right. So
things that
scarves, hats.
Right. Winter
shoes.
Stuff. And we like to collect it early because when you wait like that, stuff gets more expensive and expensive.
Right, so he also collects kind of year-round and gives it out based on season. So also supplies that, are common things people need from the list for the nonprofit he works with that houses homeless veterans or veterans that come there that need help. So it's an ongoing relationship he tries to build from the VA. Like there's a resource center that helps homeless veterans and anybody he finds out that works ongoing. So he doesn't just like to give the things out, but we also like to do follow-up and make sure they know about the services and where they can go for help.
What is that nonprofit that you work with?
It's called McVet.
McVet?
Right, it's called McVet, and it's an acronym for Maryland Center for Veteran Education and what?
Training.
And training.
So, yes, and training. So it's in Baltimore, but veterans can come from anywhere in the country to get help. And it's an awesome program. They have drop-in services where veterans come in off the street, take a shower, get some clothes, have a meal. Or some live there for up to several years, and they serve both men and women. So we think it's important to support.
And what's cool? That they have this little thing where they can pick up the veterans and drive them there.
Right. So
and I think that's really cool.
I do think that's really cool too.
If a veteran on the street needs a ride, the van will come and bring them to McVet, or if they're located in another part of the country, they can help with that too in many cases. So
awesome.
they just do great work. We love them. So Tyler
and they even have little computers where they
have computers. They have
I even donated one.
Yes, you donated a computer.
Right. In the very beginning, he raised money for a laptop, and he paid with it for most of the money for that came out of his business and a few
and I gave him that for Christmas.
Yeah, he gave it to a veteran for a Christmas present.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Hey, speaking of business, did I hear that you have your own business cards?
Tell about your business cards.
Yes, I gave away so many. Mom needs some herself. I want to get hers. I ran out mine. Same with hers.
Right. So tell her that
she haven't even gave out many of them, except for I only gave out hers 2 times because it's rare to find hers. But mine,
yeah.
Oh my gosh! I passed out so many. I'm out.
You're out. What's the name of the business?
Oh, tell her your
Get
business.
back to
the Kid Time.
Kid Time Enterprises.
Kid Time Enterprise. You have so many businesses, you can't remember which one?
Right. So tell her, so Kid Time is the name of his kid business that he's been donating out of, but we've been working on setting up Give Back to Veterans as a nonprofit instead of just a project. So it's become so big that now it needs to be separated.
Wow. How do you feel about that? What happened? It got so big. Was that scary? Where you're like, what the? No.
Are you afraid? You like that?
You like it? Thumbs up. Oh, we got another thumbs up coming. I love it. Love it. Love it. Tyler, what does it feel like to have your mom? Do you know a lot of kids? So I have 4 boys, right? And a lot of them were very young. They were so close in age, right? So I had 4 of them just about your age all at the same time. And I was on my own.
About 4 years old?
Yeah. They were like 6 years old, 5 years old, 4 years old, and 2 years old. And I know, right?
Yeah.
And I was alone with them, right? It was just me taking care of them.
I'm getting ready to be 7 now.
Yeah. So when my kids would come to me at that age, I couldn't always listen to them, right? Maybe they had some great ideas that I missed because I was so busy or I was tired, or maybe I thought that they were just so little, right? So what does it feel like to have gone to your mom and said, "Hey, Mom, I have this idea." And she wasn't like, "Oh, Tyler, that's so sweet. You're such a good boy. Go have a cookie." You know, what does it feel like that she said, "Oh, yeah," and went to that?
I don't care about no cookie.
I don't know. I know you don't care about no cookie, right? Does it feel good? Or, I mean, how does it feel that your mom listened to you and said, "Yes, I will help you"?
Have to do your business. How do you feel about
that? I feel good about it.
Yeah.
Explain.
I feel good about it because, not many people get to do that. Like, down the street from here, there's this lemonade girl, and she sells lemonade. At one time, my mom stopped by there and gave her $1.
Oh,
right. I'm
nice,
very much interested in encouraging not just Tyler, but other parents to listen, to not blow off the child's idea because there are little, and we know kids just kind of talk, and we don't know if they're serious or not.
Cowboys mentions I was thinking.
Right now, he's on to all kind of things. But I also tested Tyler to see how serious he was. Yeah. And one of those tests were actually a presentation by video to the governor.
Wow.
And when he was 4, he memorized it. We uploaded it because they said just write it out and send it. But I, again, felt like, I didn't want someone to think, oh, she's putting her child up to this to make him look good and it's her. No. And he did practice over and over and over and over again until I felt it was acceptable. And then from there, it was a matter of the business cards, something as simple as, will you tell people what you're doing? Will you ask for donations? Will you make these videos? Will you pass out these letters Mom typed up and ask for the manager at a store on a Saturday when you could be playing? He did all of that.
Awesome.
So I said, if you could do all of this and you can give out thousands of business cards, you deserve my time.
That's excellent. And, I was just, as you were talking, I was reminded, and I have to do things right when it comes to mind sometime, right? So I hopped on my phone, just pulled up that website again, make sure I had it right in my head. A while ago, we interviewed some kids that we thought were going to be the youngest that we had interviewed, but nope, they weren't. They're teenagers now. But they have an organization called Kids That Do Good. And I think we're going to link you up with them because when they were just 8 years old, they wanted to volunteer somewhere and were told they were too young. So they now have a national organization where they do just what you're doing. They help kids and parents of young children find places they can volunteer. So would you like us to kind of introduce you guys so maybe they can help you and you can help them?
That sounds like what happened one time.
Yeah. Say it. That'd be awesome.
Okay. We're gonna introduce you guys. And they got an award from the president too for their work.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's awesome.
So I think you will. Something tells me you're going to meet. I think you might even be president one day. I'm just saying.
He said in one interview he wanted to be, and I'm like, oh, why'd you say that? He said, because I would do more to help veterans. That's what he told me. Why?
There you go. I think we're going to see great things, and we're going to be like, we knew that kid way back when, right? So yeah, we're going to go ahead and introduce you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna break, and that's why I had to jump in because I didn't want to forget, so I wanted to get that back down.
That's awesome.
Because sometimes my brain goes like in too many places all along. So I saw a video that you put out there. And it talked about something that we talk about a lot. We're on American Snippets. And part of why we started this and we worked so hard is because it was upsetting to us to see the constant bad stuff that people focus on and how everybody just talks about what's wrong and what's bad. And then it gets people angry at each other. And that's, right? Isn't that sad to see? I saw a video you just put out where you talked about that same thing.
Oh, yeah, because let me tell you something.
Yeah,
like,
tell me
it's
something.
all over the news. It's all over everywhere. News stations are reporting. Like, did you hear about the thing that happened down in Annapolis?
What thing
Yeah,
happened?
talking about the reporters that were unfortunately killed
Yes.
by gunmen.
Yes.
So he's right. Like I'm in journalism, and luckily I've had the good fortune of writing lots of nice stories and human feature pieces.
Because my friend we told you about earlier, he had to go down and do that, and like she went down there one time. Luckily, she didn't work there.
Right,
Luckily.
it can happen.
Right.
But
Can you imagine?
I know that sometimes good news is undervalued.
Yes. Yes.
and I've always been interested in it when I became a mom, and I'm sure you can relate as a parent that we want our kids to see what's normal. And to me, it's normal to be nice. It's normal to uplift. It's not normal to just focus on everything negative and have nothing good to say.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, tell me, Tyler.
One time we were trying to fundraise, right?
Yes.
And this lady tried to cause trouble.
No.
Right.
And I didn't understand why she did that.
Right. So even sometimes kids run into hard times trying to do good things. And we do share those few times only so people can understand. Just because he's a kid, he doesn't always have it easy.
Yeah.
There are people who say discouraging things, who do discouraging things.
We did something yesterday and we posted it because somebody did something on my page that I did not like at all.
What happened?
It was under an interview, and they said that I was kind of pushing my agenda on a child, and they think that's awful.
Right.
And, you get all these opinions, but they don't know our family. They don't know us. And I've taught Tyler, regardless of what people say, if you feel this is your mission, I'm going to help you.
Right.
And it feels wonderful when you see a veteran who is 70-something years old, who served our country, and Tyler's, he said, "There's my little buddy," and he hands him his lunch, and he crosses the street to go eat it. And every time he sees our car, he knows we're coming to help him out for the day. And we constantly remind him, look, you can get help, but even if they don't choose to right away.
You don't see many people do that. Like only 2 times we saw 2 people, like one lady got something from Dunkin' Donuts and gave him a little.
Right, she gave him some iced coffee. Right. But we want to encourage more people to be kind.
Yeah.
Because we need more kindness and people working together to get stuff done and not just complaining and griping.
Right.
And
so it's not like
like everybody sits up and somewhere griping and saying what they don't have and everything.
Right.
So, yeah. So it's not like we all know bad things happen and it's important to know about them and talk about them. But when you only talk about one thing and leave out the other thing, we don't get the whole picture, right? We don't get the whole story. So good things happen, bad things happen. But it seems like the only thing a lot of people want to talk about are the bad things. And we love that you are out there pushing the good thing, because that's what we're doing too. It's like we're working together and we didn't even know it, right?
And thank you for what you're doing. It's important to get that message out there.
Yeah, we love being able to introduce people too.
There isn't always bad people. There's bad people in the world and good people in the world.
And you have to know about both, not just one, right?
Right.
So there's enough people talking about the bad stuff. We don't need any more people talking about the bad stuff, right? Let's talk about the good stuff. So
we need more people talking about the good stuff.
The good stuff, yeah. So you said before,
bad stuff needs to go.
Bad stuff needs to go, yeah. So you said before, Tyler, first we were talking about, you started telling me before our interview that you liked tanks and you were telling me these facts about tanks. And I said, how do you know that? And what did you say to me? How do you know all this stuff about tanks?
Tell her about the library.
At the library, I get books about stuff like tanks and military things because I get very interested about it.
So you go to the library, which I'm going to say probably not a lot of kids even know what a library is anymore. You go to the library, unless they get sent there in school and have to sit there and do their work, right? But you go to the library and you get military books. I just want to
Yeah.
keep repeating that.
Like
It's
there
just
was a
my dad would love you. Yeah, go ahead.
Survived, and I saw one in the library and it was checked out. But the other military books,
Yeah. You get them all.
they weren't checked out. A lot of them weren't checked out.
They weren't checked out, so you got them.
There's only one.
Tell her how many books during the summer you read a day. What's your goal?
It's about like 5, but sometimes, like one time before the summer began, I read about like 15 in a day.
You read 15 books in one day.
Yeah.
And then what? So you're like, I'm not going to just write books. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not going to just read books. I'm going to go ahead and what? I just gave it away. I was trying to be so cool. I got distracted by something. I gave it away. You write books too.
Right.
How old were you way back when you wrote your first book?
About 3 or 4.
3 or 4. What was your first book on?
Tell her what Tyler Goes Around the World is about.
It's about a superhero who goes around the world.
And does what?
And does charity work.
Well, not that, but teaches kids
about different religions and countries.
That's crazy.
And like especially about like when I want to return, I follow the moon and I go back to Maryland.
So can I go buy your book somewhere? Or did you sell them all already?
So how can people order? How can people order?
The only way you can possible to order is on my website. I don't have it.
Tell her what it is.
It's www.kidtimeenterprise.com.
www.kidtimeenterprises.com. So the goal of the book is was because Tyler, like many kids, didn't like to go to sleep at night.
So I hate going to sleep.
Yeah, you hate going to sleep. Your mom must love that.
Yeah, well, that's why he ended up doing the book, because it turned into a game with him learning about different countries, and then it became basically
it kind
a
of helps
manuscript.
me sleep, kind of.
And he still has to fly around the world, and we teach him stuff at night. So,
nice.
But what he does is when he sells each book, what do you do?
A part of the proceeds goes to homeless veterans.
Right.
That's so cool.
Maybe I keep like 10 or 20%, but the rest goes to the veterans.
Right. So it was also a way for him to start saving money so he could buy the items for the veterans. It started out with toiletries, but then the needs grew and grew, like coats and your items, shoes, because there's no limit. Once we get to know what they need, his goal is, if you don't have something, I'll come back.
Like we use unisex deodorant and all that kind of stuff, because like unisex is a big deal. So then we run out of women's, or we run out.
Oh my God, I love you. Yes.
Like women or men.
Right. So mom has an influence, Barbara, that we want to make sure that the women are included in giving back to veterans,
Yes, thank you. It's important to listen to your mom. I love that you're such a good team together.
A lot of people forget about them and they just run all to the men.
Right. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge women. He does make hero bags for women too. So when he goes to McDepp, he makes sure that women are getting items just like the men get items. So we love them equally.
Rock on, Tyler.
Thank you.
That's my way of doing the emoticon. Give you an actual thumbs up. There you go. Oh, here we go. All right, listen, everybody. I'm telling you now, if you're listening to this podcast, you also need to take the time and watch this video. We're going to post it on YouTube. And I never do this in the middle of an interview, but I got to tell you, because he's priceless. Tyler, you're priceless. And your mom's smile behind you is also priceless. It says everything, right? So, and the emoticon, he's putting some special surprises up during this. So if you hear me cracking up, it's because he's cracking me up, making faces and emoticons and stuff. It's just good fun. This is one of the most fun interviews, Tyler. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you got to work, you should make it fun, right? Do you hear people say all the time that work is supposed to be hard? Have you ever heard anybody say that? Work is supposed to be unpleasant. You're not supposed to have fun at work. That's the thing adults say sometimes when they grow up and they have jobs that they don't like. They just make it feel better and they explain, well, you're not supposed to have fun at work. We say, the heck with that. Yes, you are. I think you should go visit everybody at work.
And that's why my dad doesn't like to see me, because maybe when he's off,
Right. So we also want to make sure that I have a rule for Tyler, and that is what? If you don't want to what?
Do it, I don't have to.
Right.
Perfect.
But every time she asks if I don't want to do it, I say yes.
He said yes, he's fine. He still wants to do it. Because, again, it's very important to me that I don't feel like I'm making him do anything.
Yep.
So
because I like to do what I like to do.
Right. He loves to do it. So even when it's hard work, we have fun. And the joy is actually at the end of the hard work when you see people saying, I really needed that. Thanks for helping me out.
Yep.
Or Tyler.
One time, we were just making a delivery. And we were just going to see one of my favorite friends at McVet down the hall. And somebody said, thank you. And they had the shoes in their hand.
Right. They said, thanks, Tyler. I can use these shoes today.
Oh,
and
very nice.
So great when you see people actually wearing the things or carrying things.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like one time we passed out something, and these ladies I gave them to, you know what?
What?
They were eating the snacks already. They were eating the bars, and the other lady, she was eating the Pringles, the little chips.
Well, if somebody gives you Pringles, you have to eat them right then. I think that's the rule.
Yeah, that's the chip rule.
I think that's the chip rule. So look, we are almost out of time here, but I want to just get in quickly, Tyler. So important. I want you to help me out here, because we talk to a lot of people who say, I would love to do something. So there would be people who would say, I would love to help other people, but I can't help someone because I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I don't have money to help them. What do you think about that? If somebody says that, if somebody came up to you and said, Tyler, how can I be like you? How can I do stuff like you? Would you have anything to say to them?
Well, yes, God has something for you. It means just because somebody else is, it doesn't mean you have to do the same thing. You can do your thing that you like. You don't have to be like somebody else.
That was perfect.
You can do it at any age. To me, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. That is perfect. Tyler, thank you so much. Listen, if there was somebody in this whole world that you could meet today, if I could say this person is coming to your house today and they're going to spend time with you, someone you've never met before, who would you like to meet?
Mr. Obama.
Mr. Obama?
Yes, because I like him better than Trump. I'm not trying to.
No. It's that. But
that's all right.
He's following a lot of things and reading a lot of things. And I think he's really interested in things that have happened before, things that are happening now. But he's just always said that he's very interested in meeting him in particular.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll go ahead and tag. And we never know. So far, we've had no luck making these meetings happen, but we'll we like to keep trying, right? Thank you so much, both of you, for taking the time to be with us today.
It was nice talking to you, and thank you for having me on your show.
And thank you very
anytime.
much.
And I hear that you're coming to New York again, so maybe we could hop on a train and come in and say hello to you. Maybe we can come hand out some bags with you.
That's
something.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to be in touch, okay? And we're going to help people still keep track of what you're doing, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Nice talking to you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.